Today we'll discuss the subject that is quantitative methods and research methodology. So what do you mean by quantitative method and research methodology? And today we'll discuss what is the importance of this subject, why that is in your syllabus. So as you know, your industry, that is hospitality industry, is a very peculiar industry, very interesting industry, because here the human resource is the key element for the success of the business. The human resource plays a vital role in your industry. Your industry, you can take examples of hotels, you can take examples of travel agency, restaurant, or any area. These are a huge industry in the sense the staffs, huge department, and various types of skills required for the satisfaction of the guest or the customers, prospective customers. So the research nowadays plays a vital role in all the sectors, not only in hospitality, in every sector. All the business houses, all the companies, national, multinational, all the companies, they are trying to develop their research because for the success, because for the achievement, because for to fulfill the target, because the research is one thing that helps definitely for achieving any kind of objective or any kind of target, you can say. So the importance of research is day by day increasing, that you all aware about the term research. But the thing is that you have to understand what is quantitative method and what is research methodology. So what do you mean by quantity? The quantity means the amount. You can say that is amount. So what is that amount? What is the quantities? There are many quantities, many physical quantities, like distance. Distance is a physical quantity. And weight, that is a physical quantity. Pressure is a physical quantity. Temperature is a physical quantity. To know the quantity that is expressed always in digital form, that is called units. So distance is expressed in forms of unit. What do you mean by unit? What is the unit of distance? That is kilometer, meter, centimeter. And I can give you examples of the quantity, the weight. The quantity of weight is expressed in the unit of kilogram, gram, milligram, like this. So any physical quantity can be expressed in the form of unit. So what is the importance of research? Because research that can help you to express the quantity like emotion. How emotion is expressed? What is the unit of emotion? If somebody's father's death has been reported, or he knows that his father is going to die, in that sense, in that juncture, so what is the quantity of emotion? What is the sorrowness? How it can be expressed? 2 kilo, 4 kilo, or 2 meter, 3 centimeter? You cannot so. You cannot express. This cannot be expressed like this units. And the happiness when someone is meeting his girlfriend, surprisingly, or someone is achieving a success, can you quantify the happiness? Yes, that by means of research. So research has some tools, some innovative tools by which all quantities, not only only physical quantities, but every quantity can be expressed. There are different types of tools, that is methodologies. These are two things: quantitative methods and research methodology. So what do you mean by quantity? Now quantity is something which can be expressed, the amount can be expressed in certain units. Then methods. What do you mean by methods? Method means where, that is a process where certain steps are consecutively arranged, sequentially arranged with a proper logic. I can give you an example. Suppose you can say tea making process. How can tea made? Tea making process. What are the steps involved in the tea making process? Now first, switch on the gas, apply the heat, and keep a pot. Then add water, and then milk, then sugar, then tea, and boil for a few minutes. Then stain it. Then you can serve to your guest. So these are the consecutively steps involved in the process of tea making. So in this case, you cannot alter any steps. You cannot add the tea or the water before switch on the gas, or you cannot stain without adding sugar and that tea. So these are consecutive steps sequentially arranged one after another, that which cannot be altered. So this is called a process, or this is a method. So methods, where method is there, means few steps must be there, and these steps are consecutively, sequentially arranged with a proper logic to achieve a goal. That is called method. Then research, quantitative method and research methodology. Then research. What do you mean by research? Searching again and again. Research. Searching again and again. So what it helps? Why do one will go for searching again and again? Now because some sort of innovation, some sort of new findings, some sort of new things. So that is called searching, because for that one will search again and again. So research is a very buzzword nowadays. Everywhere, in every sector, in every department, research is applied. Why research is applied? What is the major contribution of research? Now research is universally accepted by everywhere, all over the globe, all over the departments, any type of departments, in any area. What is that major contribution? It supports innovation. Its contribution is in respect of achieving the goal, achieving the success, and it is with a proper logic. As the logic is concerned, it is universally accepted. So because for that, the universal acceptance for the research. So research is very much vital in the field of hospitality industry. As you know, your industry is a very interesting industry. Your industry is a very peculiar industry. It is governed by the manpower, human resources. It is peculiar in the sense because the human psychology is concerned. To satisfy a guest in the hospitality industry is a very big job. Because so to satisfy a guest in respect of by means of hospitality, it is a quite very difficult job rather than other sectors. You can satisfy the guest in the product industry by your products, by your service. But in the hospitality industry, it is difficult to understand the psychology, the human psychology, because this human psychology is very peculiar. You should feel the hungriness of the guest. You should feel the thirstiness of the human beings or the guest. And accordingly you have to serve. You have to, go depth about the various preferences, about the various choices, about the various likes and dislikes of the guest. Unless until you do not know, you are not aware about that, it is very difficult to satisfy them. Again, this is one thing, and again, so in the product industry, you can give you examples of, tire industry, you can examples of garment industry, I can give you examples of glass industry, steel industry. These are the skill is required. But the skill is required in hospitality industry, it is completely different than other industry. Because someone is appointed to processing the rubber for making tire. So that skill is most required for that. But here somebody is providing the front office service, somebody is providing the housekeeping service, and somebody is providing the food and beverage service, or in the production in the hotel. So this service actually, one skill is not sufficient for one service provider, because the wants are maximum, limitless, and at any circumstances, different types of approach, different types of demand may generate it, and someone is there to provide that service, he must have that much of skill to provide the different kinds of services. For example, one man is appointed in the front office, in the front desk, or in the lobby. So it is not sufficient. He must be having that much of skill to manage the lobby, to manage the front desk. He should know about the cashier management. He should know about the bellboy's duty. And he should know all other front office service, because that may be required. It is uncertain. It is very uncertain when the demand will be generated and somebody will not be there, and that person has to do all these things. Similarly, one can also in the F&B area, front of food and beverage area also, not only to deliver the meals, not only to receive the order, not only to watch all the cover, whether these are perfect or not, and everything is given or not. So multi-skill is required for one man, and that may be required in a very uncertainly, that the demand is generated, and to perform, this man has to perform all this kind of F&B services. So because for that, to be successful in this case by the various companies, it is very much required to take help of the research, because research is a particular area which can logically support all types, to meet all types of demands, and to help to facilitate the efforts of the worker for achieving the goal, for achieving the customer satisfaction, or to expanding the business, or to generating more profits or more revenue for the company. So this is very much required in the research, because why? Now research is the thing. By means of research, data, the most fundamental thing of research is data. Data can be arranged systematically. So research can teach you how to arrange the data, big data, not only data, but big data, huge data, that can be arranged properly. Properly in the sense, at the time of requirement, that could be easily retrieved. And that can be stored systematically. Remember, systematically storing the data for a long time. And at the time of need, that can be retrieved. So this is the thing, from research only, you will know how to manage the data. This is the big thing. So, what is actually research? Research is nothing but the accumulation of knowledge. The research is possible by means of accumulating knowledge. What is knowledge? Knowledge means the collection of information. And what is information? Information is nothing but the collection of data. If you have sufficient data, then you have information. You have sufficient of information, then you have knowledge. And that is finally facilitated for the research, towards research, to the field of research. So the question is, what do you mean by data? The data, now you understand, the most fundamental thing of research is data. So what is data? Data means nothing but facts and findings. Any facts, any findings. Then my question is, what is the difference between facts and findings? Every day what happens? What is coming out in the newspaper? What do you read from the newspaper? Some accident happened somewhere in Maniwar. Some accident happened in Jajpur. And some sort of new type of plant is discovered by somebody in the mangrove forest. So these are, these are facts. So what is in the news? All these are facts. But what is findings? Finding means something new. Something new, what is either invented or discovered. These are findings. There is a little difference between facts and findings. But everything are facts. But a few things are findings. So both facts and findings are the data. So data is a plural form, data. Singular form is datum. But nobody says datum. That is data. So why the data is the fundamental thing of the research? And very, very important for the research. Research cannot progress without data. And data are very, very fundamental, very, very sensitive thing. In the research, what happens? Data are collected. Reliable data are collected in a particular way, in a particular method. Some sort of logic is involved. It is not that you can gather data from the here and there. So gathering data, collecting the data in the research process, there is a particular method. And that data can be stored in the tabular form. In the research, you will find tables. What do you mean by table? Table means it consists of rows and columns. What is called table? A table will consist of few rows and few columns. What is a row and what is column? Row is the horizontal lines. The horizontal lines are the rows and the columns are the vertical from top to bottom and horizontal from left to right. These are row and these are column. So what is the importance of row and column? What is the importance of table? Now table means where data can be stored very easily, in the sense logically, and can be retrieved at the time of need. So if there is a table, I can give you an example. Suppose one table consists of 5 rows and 5 columns. So a data is required for me which is there in the 5th row and in the 5th column. So that is the address. So because in the table what happens, you can store the data with a particular address, with a proper address, so that retrieval is very easy. So these are the things, the basic things in the research. And another thing, the research is a very, very, vast area, broad area. Because what happens in the research, the research is like a, it's a very interesting thing. Research is a very interesting thing in the sense where the population, one thing is in the research, in which field someone is going for a research, that area, to declaring that area is called, otherwise in the research language, that is population. It means from where the data are collected, these each and every individuals are called respondents. They are called respondents. So the total numbers of respondents, we call it in research language, that is population or otherwise universe. So population and universe. In your short question in your exam, it may be asked, what do you mean by population? What do you mean by universe? So what do you mean by universe and what do you mean by population? And the total number of respondents. It is a declaration of the researcher of the area. Area in the sense the numbers of respondents. Suppose someone is going for a research to know the level of satisfaction of the American tourist towards the Dalma, Odia Dalma cuisine, Odia Dalma cuisine, Dalma, Orua Dalma. So to know the satisfaction level, it is not easy for the researcher to visit America, entire America. It is not possible. And if someone will be visiting America, then it is not possible within even 10 years he can collect the data each and every respondents of the America, all over the total America. It is not possible. It is very much time consuming, very much expensive. So what happens if the researcher is from the India and to try to know the satisfaction level of the Dalma of the American tourist, he may actually visit to the very demanded tourist place like Puri, Konark, Bhubaneswar, you can say, and to search the American tourist from different hotels, from the different spot, its tourist spot. So out of that, how much tourist he will be getting in a year, that may not be sufficient to know the level of satisfaction towards the Dalma. That may not be sufficient because the number is, the American tourist number someone is getting in a year, that is like 30 or to 40 or 100. So that is not the, that is not the way of methods of collecting the data or declaring a population or the universe. So the research is a very broad, very vast area. There are so many things involved in the process of research. Because for that, research designing is very important. Before someone is starting any research work, he has to design the research. So that designing is very important. Why that research designing is important? Now because this big area, this is a huge area, and there are various things. I can give you examples, another examples, from that you can better understand. That is, suppose Hero Honda company. Now it is separated. Hero is one company and Honda is company. Suppose any Honda company, the bike, some sort of bike is going to be launched in the market by the Honda company. So the various things are concerned for the successful launching, like fuel efficiency, like the designing of the model of the bike, the front, the head and the body, and another thing the weight, another thing the color of the bike, another thing the various features. So these things are. Another thing is, most important thing is price. What is the price? So these are the various features concerning for the successful in the market, launching the bike to be successful in the market. Because these are the features. So there are numbers of variables. So how one can say what features should be very important to be successful when it will be launched in the market? These are the things, because there are numbers of aspects, numbers of variables. So the research is a very big thing. Another thing, your subject is quantitative methods and research methodology. Now you understand probably little bit about quantitative methods and research. Now we are talking about the methodology. What is methodology? The methods and methodology, these are very much similar words, methods and methodology. So what is the difference between these two, methods and methodology? You understand the methods. Methods means consecutive steps involved with a proper logic. That is methods. Roughly you can say. Then what is a methodology? What is the difference? How the methodology is differentiated from methods? Now methodology means that is, I can give you example. A certain methods is involved in making tea, that I have already explained. All the steps involved in that method I have already explained. But what is methodology? You will observe, you must have experience, you must find that suppose you have given the methods and you know the methods how to make the tea, and this man also knows and he also knows how to make, and everybody follows the same methods for preparing 2 cups of tea and added all the ingredients in the same quantity with the same methods, but you must find the taste, the difference in the taste of all 3 teas. Is it not that? Do you believe it? If it is true, then why? If all follow the same methods, apply the same ingredients and prepared in the same process, but why these 3 teas are different from each other? Now, because methodology is concerned. What is that methodology? Who can say what is that methodology? Why the taste of tea differs? Now, that tea differs because for the application of the heat, the duration of the application of heat. Likewise, there are so many things. But the most fundamental thing, in the methods, the application of heat is not mentioned. The duration, the time is not mentioned. Understand? So these are the things may differ. And apart from that, very few other skills are also involved in this thing. We'll discuss it later on. But try to understand. So these minute changes in application of heat, quantity of heat, time, etc. may differ. And these are under methodology. So methodology is quite, refined, quite distinguished in a very, very minute form, which are expressed in different formulas, mathematical formulas. You can say the regression, you can say, that is F test, Z test, T test. There are various formulas. These are the mathematical formulas involved, to applying the tools, the methodologies, to, exactly distinguished, to very minutely analyze all the variables, to, to strengthen the result of the research, the analysis of the research, for the accuracy. Various tools, these are involved. These are called methodology. So methodology, the methodology means a mathematical tools, mathematical formulas, which to be used to find out the accurate result. This is not the methods. This can only be possible by means of methodology. Roughly, try to understand what is the methods and the methodology. Then we'll go later on into the depth. What is methodology? What are different methodologies used in research? So this is quantitative methods and research methodology. So quantitative methods and research methodology is a subject. This is very important for all the sectors, for all the areas, for all the departments, all the wings, for all the companies, and as well as it is very much essential for the hospitality industry. For the hospitality industry. And for whom? Because for you. You are the future managers. You all will be, after completion of this course, you all will be appointed as the managers. And the managers should know the research process. Manager has to go for the various kinds of research. In the every hotels, in the every travel agencies or tour operations, in restaurants, multi-cuisine restaurants, everywhere, in every sector, now a separate wings has already been established. That is the research wing. You may also work in this area. And also, even if you are not there, you are in the front office, you are in the F&B service, and you are in the production, you should know. Still you have to know. You should know what is the research, what is the importance of the research, and why it is applied, and why it is applied, and how it is applied, and how it helps the manager to work or to achieving the goal. So this is the most very, very important thing, major thing which is required from the research. Because if you are not aware about the research, quantitative methods and research methodology, you cannot do anything. You cannot act like a front office manager. You cannot even act like a housekeeping manager or in F&B service or in anywhere, you cannot be a manager unless until you do not have that knowledge. Because in every moment, as you know, the managerial job is very difficult. Why it is difficult? Why managerial job is difficult? Because for the decision making. Because manager has to take decision at any moment. All of a sudden, you have to take decision. In a practical field, when you will be the manager and will work, you will feel the importance of decision making. And it's a very, very serious thing. Very, very difficult thing. To know what is right and what is wrong. To say yes or no. Actually, this is a very difficult task. So that is called decision making. So decision making always is supported by the research. So this subject is very important for you. Quantitative methods and research methodologies. In our library, various books are available. So you can refer any books. Plenty of books in the library, the various authors. But I can recommend you all to start first with the Kothari book. Kothari book, first you try to read the Kothari book, that will help you. Then you will go for the other books. These are already mentioned in your lesson plan. I have already sent you the lesson plan, that is there. All the reference books are there in the library. You can ask to the librarian also. There are various numbers of books. The another thing, in this research, the various units, it's a very, vast syllabus. All things are covered. Starting from your what is research, to types of research, to process of research, designing of research, hypothesis, methodology, defining problem, various types of test, and also reporting. So all these things are included in your syllabus, and this subject carries 100 marks. And the questions in the exam, you cannot expect all the question theory type. Few questions are problematic. 20 to 30% maybe the problems may be asked. And reasoning type question will be again 10-20%. But you have to prepare all the syllabus, entire the syllabus, because it carries 100 marks. But out of that, the most of the statistical part, that is quantitative methods, will be very much time consuming, because you are from the various streams. So it will take time, because those who are already have little bit idea about the statistics from their plus 2 level, so they can catch easily. But the others who do not have any idea about statistics, so that particular part will be little bit time consuming for them, because they have to devote much time in that respect. Another thing, finally, after this syllabus, one assignment will be given to you in particular in your liking area. So you have to finally to write a research report. You may go for research or not, that is different. But everything what you learn from this all in the quantitative methods and research methodology, You, by applying all these, you have to prepare a report, research report. It is utmost required, it is mandatory. So that you have to do in this quantitative methods and research methodology subject.